to a job interview and not ask for the job? Why wouldn't you do that? You know what, I've been to countless interviews, and if I didn't leave there at the end of it saying, so, have I got the job? I know it makes me look like a bit of a dick if they say no, but I'm really prepared to take that risk, basically, do you know? Because they want to know that you want to work for them. The customer wants to know that you want to sell to them. So ask them. So can I have your order? How many do you want? When can you take delivery? These are all different ways of closing. And then you do this. You listen, you ask, and you wait. So you've heard out what they're saying, you've asked that question, and then you shut the hell up. You just shut up. It's uncomfortable because you're waiting, but you let them speak. I don't think it's about time. We're not ready to buy it. When the hell are you going to be ready? Don't ask that question, but you think to yourself. So I would then go back and say, exactly what do you mean by that? Is it because you're not sure? Because when customers turn away from buying your product, there's only one reason why they've done that. It's because they've not understood the value that you bring to them. Or they don't understand the value that they're paying for. Which means you still got an opportunity at that point to ask questions and raise through. Is it something that you don't understand? Is it something that I haven't perhaps explained in enough detail? What part of this is making you say no? I think the price is too much. Well, if I gave you a price plan, would that work? Give them no-brainers. Don't let them turn around and walk away. Because anyone that turns around and walks away are probably 75% or 7 out of 10 of them won't come back. They may come back when other people are buying, but you're losing your instant impact there and then. The other thing is, it will make you start to over-analyze, where you think, is it me? Is it the colour of the shirt that I wore? Is it, you know, did I not brush my teeth this morning? You know, what is it? What is it? And you start judging instead of reflecting. The other one is 80-20. What's the 80-20? It's not 20-20, that drink that you can have in the park, which gets you knocked out after 2 bottles. 80-20. Anyone know this?
Yeah, it can be applied to so many things.
Absolutely. Pareto's law, yeah?
It says that 20% of your efforts will be 80% of your effort.
Okay. Could be.
It's also like 20% of your customers are people that actually buy the most from you. So I think it's like they actually buy 80%
Yep.
of your stuff.
Absolutely. So 80% of your efforts is in 20% of your customers. 80% of your revenue is generated for 20% of your customers. It can be used in so many different permutations. The whole thing about Pareto's law is the balance. You can't go out there tomorrow, you just don't have the budget to go out and put a national TV campaign to get 1 million customers. You have to focus your energy in getting your first small group. So this works in, as you said quite early, relevantly, this works in so many different ways. The amount of time you put into your customer base. Correct me if I'm wrong, you're in fitness, right?
Yeah.
So if you took a pool of, out of those 100 customers, you took 20 and put 80% of your time, you're going to have repeat business, ongoing relationship, all of this, so it allows you to build. And it's just a general 80-20 rule. But what I'm trying to say here is don't try to go to 80% of your customers with 20% of your time. Because what's going to happen is you're going to do a shit thing about selling. You won't engage with your customer enough. They won't get the value out of it. And you may get some sales, but you're not going to get some repeat ones. You really need to focus in on your top 20% of customers. So don't worry if you make a mistake with one. It's not a domino effect on others. But focus 80% of your time into that, or more. You know, focus in, really understand that customer or that relationship, the buying trends, how they buy, why they buy, what's the trigger words, what's the pain point. I just spent 80% of the first part of this talk just talking about the focus and the energy. The other side of it is easy. Once you've got past that, all you're doing is asking for an order. 80% of time to 20% of your customers, and you will start to see that role reversed. When you start to scale up, you'll be spending 20% of your time with the same customers, but getting more sales coming through the door. Why? I'll come to you in a second. Because you're building relationship. Everything that you do should have relationship built within it. Everything. Doesn't matter if it's a one-off order. If you own a food stall, where you're going to have some random tourist you've never come before, come and buy a taco or whatever it is that you're selling. You make that experience that brilliant for that person. Believe me, that tourist will tell someone else, and when someone else comes from Chile or wherever they come from to the UK, they'll be looking for your store. The other thing is you've served your customer 100% well, because without watching, there are other people watching. Build markets that don't exist. What do I mean by that? You talked about recycling. Anyone else want to tell me what their company is about? Just, yeah? Cleaning services. Okay. So, your market could be offices, it could be houses, but where else could cleaning services go? To schools, it can go to community centres, it can go to churches. Heck, you could be cleaning the roads if you had to, on terms of privatisation of how it works. Just don't think your market's orientated just for one particular type of customer. Because when you start doing that, you become what we call tunnel visioned, and your peripheral vision for where your customers are here, here, and here, you're missing out. And sometimes through your constant trials of different selling techniques, you may come across clients that you didn't even think. So, issues. What are the issues that you're trying to solve? How many of you seen that Bounty advert which has got that Spanish guy? I mean, that's a total load of rubbish. I mean, the guy's not even fit. How do women like him? But it's all made up on the fact of the main issue is penetration or saturation of water into that one towel. And do you know what? Sometimes on TV they do certain things like little tests, and when you get home, I bet you there's people that do that little test as well, basically, because it gets you into that mode. It gets you into the habit of doing something the same way. Solutions. So what is the solution that you can provide? So look at the problems that your product resolves.